Welcome to the Bald Brad Show. In today's episode, we're going to be covering a variety of headlines with you, from updates on Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, California. I mean, we got it all today for you, folks. Before we jump into any of it, support a true American patriot by hitting that like and subscribe button. Leave us a short, sweet comment down below. The question of the day is, do you think Joe Biden's going to run in 2024? Let us know in the comment section below. And also head over to our website, folks, baldbrad.com. Yes, we have a website. It has a lot of goodies for you. It will take you directly to our podcast, from Listen Now to our YouTube channel to Watch Now. We got episodes, we got blogs. We also have a book here up at the top. Nice little book written by yours truly called Trojan Horse: How the Left is Destroying America. If you click on this ginormo book, I can't make it any smaller. I don't know why. You can get yourself a signed copy right here. And if you click on this button, click here to buy now, will take you to an unsigned copy of my book, Trojan Horse: How the Left is Destroying America. It will take you to Amazon. And lastly, up at the top next to the book tab, we do have a store, folks. Links are all in the description for you. We got hoodies, we got t-shirts. They're all in different colors, folks. So don't feel like just because you see black that there's not different variety of colors offered. You can get them in all sorts of colors. We got just our logos on the front. And then we also have hoodies with a custom logo of an American patriot, because that's what we all are here on the Bald Brad channel. And this one is sick down at the bottom. I designed it myself. American Patriot 1776. I got that one personally. I sport it so much so it's kind of fading a little bit that I've watched it so much. And lastly, this one's the popular one on the show, the Bald Brad Show mug there on the left. It's spinning around with the Bald Brad Show logo and the American flag on the back. Let me tell you, folks, you're never going to feel more patriotic than reading the book, wearing the merch, and drinking out of that mug. So much so that some of your wives are taking the mugs and the merchandise from you. You got to love it, folks. You're supporting a true American patriot, and you can support even further by going to the Join tab right down here and becoming a true American patriot yourself. We got an awesome community of regulars that join us in the live chat and the comment section each and every video. They would love to have you join up. I would love to have you join up. Some of you are regulars and haven't joined up yet. I don't know why. You know where your money's going, folks. It's going to a true American patriot, the Bald Brad. We would love your help and support. Well, folks, it's been a while since I've seen you. I apologize. Some of you think I'm down in the dumps. I told you the rhetoric of the show is just going to change just a wee bit. We can't be as crazy as we used to be. We got to bring it down a notch. But the energy's still going to be here. I've been working a lot, folks, let me tell you. Working a ton. The year's starting up again. And with that being said, let's kick off a little bit of news, okay? And good morning to all of you. Did you get yourself a cup of coffee? Are you drinking out of the Bald Brad Show mug? Let me know. So right here, we have House Oversight releases memo alleging Hunter Biden received millions from oligarchs. I've said it time and time again. It just continues to get worse for this man. Every week there's something new, and sometimes it's day to day. Sometimes, wait, 4 hours later, we got something new on this. House Republicans fired another salvo at President Joe Biden on Wednesday with a memo discussing how money from foreign sources made its way to his family, raising concerns about influence peddling and U.S. national security. Now, you would think that our friends, our Americans on the other side of the aisle, would have alarm bells going off. And the only reason I say this is because that's what happened under Trump when he became president, and Ivanka was doing her business globally with Japan and Russia and China, and they were losing their ish over it. But it made sense because she had a clothing line before Trump ever became president. So of course she'd be doing business with other countries, but that raised eyebrows. Now they want to look at Trump's tax returns again. They want to look at Ivanka's. They want to look at the family business and all these other things. Biden's getting millions from oligarchs, China, Romania, Ukraine. Nah, not a big deal. Not gonna look into it. I mean, they want to look at Trump's tax returns. As a prior tax accountant, folks, they don't really tell you that much, okay? They show you how much you donated, some, I mean, his would be pretty extensive with all the, all the different forms you'd have and all that stuff, but it doesn't really tell you that much, okay? So it's amazing here that they want Trump's tax returns, but on the other end, all this is going on, and you don't want to look under the hood. Well, a memo compiled by GOP staff on the wow, I sound like Joe Biden. Let's start again. A new memo compiled by GOP staff on the House Oversight Committee, sound it out, Brad, focused mainly on Biden's son Hunter, who has drawn intense scrutiny over a federal criminal investigation. It comes after House Speaker Kevin McCarthy recently said the congressional probe into the Biden family's finances is rising to the level of an impeachment inquiry, while Democrats argue Republicans have not produced any evidence showing the president received any foreign money directly. Not yet. Again, when you have these types of shell companies set up, it takes a long time. As somebody that used to do auditing that wasn't even anywhere as deep as the Biden family is, this is going to take a long, long time, folks. Probably the next 4 years, 4+, I would say. I'd probably say somewhere between 4 to 6 years, unless something drops big time, bigly. The elder Biden himself has called allegations of corruption a bunch of malarkey. Wait till we get to our next segment where Peter Doocy asks Biden about this whole thing, and he says the same thing again. He hasn't talked to anybody about any business. I mean, talk about a reed in the wind. A reed in the wind, meaning he'll say one thing one week and another thing the other week, and it just goes back and forth, and the Karine Jean-Pierre just regurgitate the same thing, or she's not going to answer any questions. According to the memo, bank records show that oligarchs from Russia, Russia, yeah, you heard that correctly. Remember how Trump was a secret Russian agent, like a double spy, you know what I mean? He was working with Putin. He loved Putin. So Russia, Ukraine, which is odd because you had the Ukrainian natural gas company called Burisma Holdings, of which Hunter Biden and his business associate, Devon Archer, were in Ukraine. And now who are we sending billions of dollars to? The Ukrainians. And Kazakhstan paid millions of dollars to Hunter Biden. His Rosemont Fonseca entities, which you have Devon Archer, you have Hunter Biden a part of. You also have Hunter Biden's business associate, the name slipping my mind, is one of the whistleblowers on this whole thing as well. That was the managing director of Rosemont Fonseca or something like that. And his business partner, Devon Archer, in some cases for work services such as his board role on Ukrainian energy company Burisma Holdings. In other cases, less clear when Joe Biden was vice president. Quote, it appears no real services were provided other than access to the Biden network, including Joe Biden himself, and Hunter Biden seems to have delivered. This comes from the oversight chairman, James Comer. Quote, this is made clear. Comer added by meals of Cafe Milano in Washington, D.C., where the vice president, Joe Biden, dined with his oligarchs around the world who had sent money to his son. It's just amazing how they're all connected, and Joe Biden's like, I know nothing. I know nothing about the business dealings. I'm sorry, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. As somebody's whose father was in business his entire life, I talked about his work a lot. I want to know what was going on because I wanted to be an accountant when I grew up. In the same way, why would you not talk to your son? Why would you not give him advice? And why would he not ask you for advice when you've been in government your entire time? I mean, you would know the ins and outs and the intricacies of getting policies through, or what policies would affect natural gas. How can you get certain business dealings go? And to say that you haven't given him any advice on anything, it seems like a bunch of malarkey. It's malarkey, Joe. It's malarkey. In a recent appearance before the House Oversight Committee, Archer testified to Biden attending dinners with his son's business partners, as shown in a lightly redacted transcript released by the panel. Archer indicated that Joe Biden did not discuss anything of consequence during these meals or in calls with Hunter associates, though he repeatedly emphasized how the Biden family brand went a long way in their ventures. So this gives us a little bit more insight into terms of Devon Archer's testimony, because if you recall, we did do an episode that was talking about this transcript that was released because it was originally released to Fox News Digital, and they gave us an insight in terms of what Devon Archer was going to say before the actual hearing itself. One of the main things I brought up was it's too vague. I need him to go further in detail on what he meant by this brand, because the Biden family, the brand and what the name meant was something that was communicated from Hunter Biden to Devon Archer in text messages that were released that we have, and we have gone over them. So I said, I need more detail on what this brand means. And did he actually go further in terms of talking about the Biden family relation? Joe Biden, was he called chief? Was he, in fact, the big man and all these things? It doesn't seem that Devon Archer went, in fact, into detail. Maybe not in open doors, but behind closed doors, possibly. Jamie Raskin, the top Democrat of the Oversight Committee, reacted to the new memo by insisting that his GOP colleagues have once again released information on financial transactions that do not involve the president, according to the messenger. Instead, they rehashed the same Hunter Biden business dealings that congressional Republicans identified at least 3 years ago. There is some truth to that. But on the other end, this is to hopefully lead to an inquiry that would lead to possible corruption from the Biden family. I mean, that's what you got to look under the hood for. But you're fighting tooth and nail to get information from the FBI and others. Remember, the FBI said the 1023 form didn't exist. The director of the FBI, Christopher Wray, looked at Chuck Grassley in the face and was like, it doesn't exist. The FD 1023 form does not exist. And Chuck was like, I have it right here, dude. I read it. So take it as a grain of salt. When somebody on the other side of the aisle says something, we got to see what comes of this. It wasn't just Jamie Raskin that came up, okay? Yes, CNN reported that Ian Sams, who is the White House counsel, at least that he's a spokesman, but I believe he's a spokesman from the White House counsel. He's done some loosey-goosey stuff with reporters before as well. We've actually covered him talking about the classified documents that are found like everywhere around Biden's home and in his garage and in his Corvette or whatever, that's like safer than Fort Knox. But that's Ian Sams for you. He's a more professional version of Karine Jean-Pierre, put it that way, if I was to do analogies. Well, he said this. Today, House Republicans on the Oversight Committee released another memo full of years-old news, innuendos, and misdirection, but notably missing, yet again, is any connection to President Joe Biden. Well, I don't know about that, just because it doesn't use the name Joe Biden. I mean, we've heard terms like the big man, which Hunter Biden's business partners did, in fact, say that was Joe Biden in the past, years ago. And we have way more information to lead to a hardcore investigation into Biden family corruption than you have on Trump. But folks, Trump had a phone call with Zelensky and they opened up a massive investigation over it. They had the full transcript. So, you know what I mean? It's come on, apples to oranges here. Way more information from somebody that used to audit people. I didn't do it for that long, but I'm like, dude, this would raise some eyebrows in anybody's neighborhood. You'd be looking under the hood on this person. GOP oversight staff who have released 2 other bank memos this year further stated that the committee has now identified over $20 million in payments from foreign sources, including China, to the Biden family and their business associates. I mean, we've heard rumors it's like 40, 50 million. So it's just going to continue to get way worse for them. They're thinking there's like tax evasion taking place, prosecuting political rivals like going after President Donald Trump. I mean, there's more to this. There's way more to this, and I hope Republicans continue to dig deeper and really see what's going on. And I think they're going to find a lot of stuff. It's just going to take a little bit of time. So let me know what you think about that. Again, the question of the day is, do you think Joe Biden's going to run in 2024? Here's what people are saying. Now, take it as a grain of salt. People are saying that a lot more information you're going to see come out from this whole looking at the Biden family corruption, and the Democrats are basically going to drop Joe Biden. And they're thinking of maybe a Newsom presidential candidate with like Michelle Obama or something like that. They're really kind of attached to name brands. That's rumor on the mill. Is it true? I don't know. I heard a long time ago that Karine Jean-Pierre was going to be out in April through August here. And when Joe Biden was going to announce his 2024 run, that she was going to be out. Well, she's still around. So like I said, take everything as a grain of salt. But again, do you think Joe Biden's going to run in 2024? I don't know, man. He seems to be getting worse. I don't want to wish any ill will on anybody unless they're truly evil. And some of you might say Joe Biden's evil. But he's a human being. I don't wish him harm or anything of the sort. I wish him good health. Pray for him. He's our president. He makes decisions on behalf of all of us. But I just don't think he's there. In the same way, I don't think Mitch McConnell should be in his position, or Dianne Feinstein. I don't think any of those people should. They're not capable. It doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat. If you're too old and you're kind of loosey-goosey, you got to be out. Sorry, there's other people out there. There's fresh young blood out there, folks. Some of you wanted more of the Trump impression, so I'm trying to give you a little bit without giving you a little bit, The next one is Biden snarls that lousy question about calls with son's business partners. He calls it a lousy question. This comes from the man, the myth, the legend, Peter Doocy, folks. Now, it wasn't during a White House press briefing. Peter Doocy did get him. I think Peter Doocy's been taking care of his young baby. He did have a baby a few months ago, but I think he's back, folks. And hopefully he's in the next White House press briefing because we need the man. We need him. We love Jackie Heinrich of Fox News, but we need Peter back in the seat as well. They're a good duo. President Joe Biden snapped at a journalist who asked him about claims that he talked about business with his son Hunter's associates. Fox News White House correspondent Peter Doocy, we do have a clip here, folks, caught up with the president at an event on Wednesday Talk about the issue of Biden family financial entanglements, which may soon to lead to an impeachment inquiry. I don't think he's going to be impeached. Just looking at the track record of Republicans, I don't think it's going to happen. You see that kind of with Lauren Boebert, I believe, in the House, put forward impeachment papers. You're not going to see anything come through with that, I don't think. I could be wrong. I mean, I think that's a very credible impeachment inquiry by Lauren Boebert because it's dereliction of duty. If you don't remember, Lauren Boebert, about a month or two ago, put through impeachment papers, I believe through the House, through basically a dereliction of duty, Joe Biden not doing his job at the southern border. And so I think there's more concrete evidence for that than there is for this right now in terms of impeachment papers. This is just an impeachment inquiry, meaning this is to look for an investigation that would lead to an impeachment. Okay, so this isn't even an investigation yet, just a conversation starter, basically. Well, let's look at the clip itself of Peter Doocy. It is short. It's not long. The president wants to get away from Peter Doocy, but it should be noted that Joe Biden flagged Peter Doocy over. So it wasn't like Peter Doocy stepped in and did all these other things. Joe Biden should have known better, but let's go ahead and roll it.
There's this testimony now where one of your son's former business associates is claiming that you were on speakerphone a lot with them talking business. Is that what?
I never talk business with anybody. And I knew you'd have a lousy question.
Well, why is that a lousy question?
Because it's not true.
So, of course, they rush him out. Look at all the people around him. I never talked business with anybody, and I knew you'd have a lousy question. I hope that Peter Doocy and Jackie Heinrich is on vacation right now, so happens to be on vacation in California, in the good part, I believe in Laguna Beach. And I hope if she sees this, hey, you know what? Hope you're having a great vacation. But hold on to this, because it has been asked before to Karine Jean-Pierre about the language switch in what's coming from Joe Biden and his associates or business associates like Devon Archer and others from Rosemont Fonseca. This question specifically came from what's his name? Why am I blanking? He's one of the gladiators. Philip Wegman of Real Clear Politics questioned Karine Jean-Pierre on this very same thing of why is now this language switching? This is clear though. Now he's gone back to saying, look, I've never talked to anybody. Now he's saying anybody. Before, I've never talked to Hunter Biden, never talked to my son. I've never talked to business deal. I've never even talked to my wife. Like, it's just getting a little out there, okay? It's getting a little bit out there. It's like, come on, man. I don't know if I believe it. So now he's saying, I've never talked business with anybody. Well, let me know, folks. Do you think the guy's talked business with his associates, with Hunter Biden? Because it's being said that Hunter Biden put his father on speakerphone roughly 20 times during meetings with business associates. And who's that coming from? I don't know, maybe Hunter Biden's business partner, Devon Archer. So somebody's lying here. Somebody's lying. And it sounds like Joe's lying. It sounds like Joe's lying bigly. Because remember, he was just having casual conversations and just topics with his son and Archer, Devon Archer and other business associates talking about weather or fishing. That's what's being said. I'm not making it up. Don't come after me. That's what Joe Biden's saying. I'm just having conversations about weather or fishing. All you can do is laugh at me. Come on. This is crazy. And you got to remember, for years, Joe Biden claimed to have never spoken to Hunter about any of his business dealings and claimed that it was challenged by one another of the first of his son's business associates. So Tony Bobulinski, if you recall, came forward in the final weeks of 2020 to say that he had firsthand knowledge that the assertion was untrue. I mean, you guys, it's not like one or two guys have come out and these are like rinky-dinky people that just like offhand sort of know Joe Biden. These guys been to dinner with the Biden family. They've been in like Joe Biden's home practically. They've been in the freaking Oval Office with the vice president. They've been on phone calls. They've been golfing. Like, they've had tours of the White House with the Biden family. Like, these aren't just random people. These are people that are extremely well connected that I would say that the Biden family kind of screwed over in some way, shape, or form. And now they're out to get blood and a little bit of a revenge. I think they got more. I don't know why they're being hesitant. I think GOP got to do a little bit more concrete investigaciones in terms of finding some good stuff on the Biden family to see if there was some serious corruption. Looks like there is, folks. I think there is, personally. I think there's big corruption going on. I think they were embezzling money, doing some foo-foo stuff that Shokin was looking into, which, again, that's why Joe Biden had wanted him ex-nay out of there, not looking under the hood on things. So moving into our next story of the day. This one's a shock, you guys. Are you sitting down? If you're looking at audio, you're sitting down. Maybe you should pull over if you're driving and listen to this. A California mayor criticized, yes, you heard that correctly. Hold on, folks. Some of you might have fallen out of your chair. Wait till you get back up. Hopefully, you didn't swerve over on the road. Yes, a California mayor actually criticized Prop 47. Holy lordy. The reason why it's a big deal, folks, you hear our friends on the other side of the aisle never criticize their own policies. Like, ever. Well, he criticized Prop 47 after 7-Eleven Sikh employees beat alleged thief. I mean, this is a great video. I can't show it. I'll show you images of it. But if you recall, nothing really happens to you in the state of California from Prop 47 if you steal merchandise or goods that are basically $950 or less. Nobody's going to come after you. Literally, we've seen people leave with duffel bags of stuff. I mean, it is rampant, you guys, in California. California is insane right now. Insane. I'm not sugarcoating that at all. I don't even feel safe going to LA County. LA County is huge. I try not to go around. I'm not looking to walk around in those places. I stay in busy parts because your car will be looted in front of you. You're stopped at a red light. They will break your windows and just loot your vehicle with you in it. In broad daylight. It's that crazy. It is wild here. It's a Republican mayor, but you also have Democrats criticizing this as well. The Republican mayor of the northern county city where a pair of 7-Eleven store clerks fought back against a thief who was seen on video threatening them and ransacking the business before being beaten by the employees. Yes, you heard that correctly. The employees beat the crap out of this guy, man. Said authorities are investigating the viral incident while also criticizing a state law many have said enables thieves to act without consequence, which is true, 100% true. Stockton Mayor Kevin Lincoln issued a statement on Tuesday saying the case involved the suspect and 2 Sikh employees for the convenience store chain is being looked at and will be referred to the San Joaquin County District Attorney's Office once completed. So get this, I'm going to show you the image here. Again, I don't want to show you the video because I'm getting flagged for everything on YouTube right now. You guys, it is so insane. It's kind of a random tangent. Every video I've posted for like the last week has been flagged by YouTube. I've been like so kosher. I've been good. Some of you asked me like, oh, what's going on with the rhetoric? It's changed. Well, yeah, it's changed. I'm getting everything I say is like getting flagged. I haven't done anything. I'm just talking about what's on the news here. My commentary's kosher, man. It's like PG. I'm getting flagged. Well, you can see the seat, guys. So on the left-hand side there, the way left-hand side, let's see if we can zoom in a little bit here. The gentleman on the left with the scarf, I shouldn't be laughing, has a trash can, you guys. He's pushing on a trash can and filling it with goods at a 7-Eleven. And then you have the Sikhs there. There's actually more than one in the middle picture, beating him with some wooden stick, man. I mean, you guys, if you haven't seen the video, he pulverizes this guy. And then on the far right, you see the guy's leg, and he just totally should not. Look how much goods are in that trash can at the bottom right there. Isn't that insane? Look at that. We opened this up. Should have made it bigger to begin with. Look at that. I mean, that is a ton of stuff. And it's nothing. It looks like he's taking what, I don't even know what that is. I don't smoke. I smoke cigars. What is that tobacco stuff he's throwing in there? Like, what he's stealing? There's a cigarettes behind him, maybe smoking. Like, what? Like, people are going, oh, well, they need to feed themselves. It's not about feeding yourself. You're a scumbag, man. It has nothing to do with race. Some people are like, oh, you're just racist because it's a black guy. White guys do this too. I don't care who you are. It's not a good thing. I know it's crazy. Like, well, no doubt, Brad, guys stealing stuff. I know it's common sense, but you shouldn't be stealing stuff. It's like a no-brainer. Well, I believe the workers were frustrated, emotions were high, but I believe they did what was courageous and did the right thing. I think so too, but here's the thing. They're going after them. They're going after the Sikhs for getting robbed. Yeah. Let that Sikh do. You get freaking robbed and they're going to come after you. Like, I mean, that's the scary thing about in the state, especially if you're a 2A, a Second Amendment, is that, I mean, depending on where you're at in terms of the situation that happens extremely fast, some guy could be literally trying to kill you or has killed somebody. If he turns his back on you and you shoot him, I mean, and he dies or whatever, now you're screwed. So it's crazy, like the nuances of everything. And you get robbed, now you have to worry about, excuse me, getting sued by that person or being looked at. It's wild. It is so wild. Again, Prop 47, which was a voter-approved measure on behalf of Democrats, downgraded charges pertaining to certain theft and drug possession crimes from a felony to a misdemeanor. It's a slap on the wrist, you guys. If the value of the stolen goods is less than $950. Usually, I mean, they say less than $950, but I mean, if you're over that, it's whatever. You guys, we've done videos on this. It's so crazy that it's, when I say what I'm about to say, it sounds insane like I'm making it up. They are putting ketchup, mustard, honey, maple syrup for your pancakes behind plexiglass, like locking it up. They're locking up TV dinners, ice cream, coffee. They had locks for coffee grinds for Pete's Coffee. That's how insane it's gotten here. It is bad. It is really bad with what's going on in the state of California, but they don't. And the reason why I say they don't care, you guys, it would have changed. I think there are Democrats that care, but I don't think it's impacted them enough to sway their vote. It's going to get worse and worse in the same way the homeless crisis has gotten worse and worse. And there's one side that needs to figure it out, and it's the Democrats. And I hope they do. I hope they wake up at some point and go, this is really, really bad. We can't continue to allow this. Because they're coming after it with a heart of empathy, which I understand. A lot of us are Christians or we follow some sort of faith. We have empathy. We want to help people, but sometimes the way to help them is giving them tough love. And I think on the other side of it, there's so much mental illness that's going on just all across the world, especially in the United States. I think we need to put in those institutions again that we used to have, because there is a correlation to when we got rid of the psychiatric wards and the institutions. That's when you started seeing a rise in homelessness and crime and all sorts of things. That's also echoed by presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy, who I've highlighted here on the show, and I highly recommend you just listen to him. Even if you're not going to vote for him, you can learn a lot. I highly recommend you listen to Vivek Ramaswamy. Even if you're going to vote for Trump, I've always said a Vivek VP candidate is a shoo-in my mind. I think he will be a VP for somebody. If they don't pick him up, it's so silly. I don't understand why they wouldn't. So that's what's going on in the state of California. I guess something happened with Biden and Gold Star families. We got an opinion piece here by Ben Shapiro, where Gold Star families from Kabul terror attack, which we did cover. We did a whole hour 15 episode of Marines basically survival of the Kabul bombing when we were evacuating out of Afghanistan. We did his whole episode, a whole story on him. It's a 5.5 hour podcast that we covered in basically an hour 15. I highly recommend you check out our last video. It is worth the watch. Some of you were crying. I was getting in the comment sections. You were having a mix of emotions, from being upset to crying to sad. You wish you hadn't seen it, but you're thankful that you did. I'm really glad that I was able to share that video. That comes from Sean Ryan. Sean Ryan is a ex-Navy SEAL, for allowing us to share those clips without getting flagged or anything like that. So we were flagged by YouTube, but not flagged by Sean Ryan. We were flagged for other reasons, which is insane. So this has everything to do with what took place in the Afghanistan evacuation that Joe Biden said just went so perfectly. So I want to go through this with you because I think it's important. On Monday, the families of 13 service members who were murdered in the terror attack at the Kabul airport in 2021 held a press conference. You guys, the story that the Marines showed us, one of the guys that was blown up that survived, he lost his arm, his leg. He was hit with 150 pellets that went through him. He explained how they got intelligence that the suicide bomber was coming. They knew the car. They had the guy's full-fledged description, from what his face looked like to his clothing, who he was with. They saw him outside the gate. They went up to the chain of command about 4 times or more, and they said, no, don't go with it. They had, I think, 5 to 12, I could be somewhere in that range, 5 to 12 different people that were, I'm butchering this, but basically would certify the fact that that's the dude. That's the guy, we need to kill him because he's a suicide bomber. Didn't do anything. Guy makes it to the front, blows everybody up. I'm sorry, but that's from the top down. That is messed up. And I'm being very sugar coating it. Joe Biden committed the single most egregious act I've ever seen a president undertake, the cowardly and disgusting pullout from Afghanistan without any plan whatsoever. And this is what I echoed as well. I don't think there was a plan. I honestly think that he just woke up one morning and was like, let's just do it. The reason why I believe that is because look at what took place. I mean, you have people falling from the skies. It took them hours, like 30 hours or something like that, to clean the bodies off the tarmac. Like, you left billions of dollars of military-grade equipment. You can't tell me you had a plan. If you did have a plan, then that's just proof that you should not be commander-in-chief the way that happened. This caused the complete collapse of Afghanistan to the Taliban. The Taliban were executing people outside the gates during this whole thing. Tyler Vargas, which I think is his name, his first name is Tyler, the Marine that we covered, just mentioned him alone, just his eyes only, saw at least 50 people being executed, from guns to automatic weapons to being pulverized in the head with pipes, all seen by him. Kids being trampled and killed, cut up by the barbed wire, tossing babies over fences. I mean, this was insane. This caused the complete, again, collapse of Afghanistan to the Taliban. Remember, the messaging was, we didn't think that they would take it over in like a week. Like, what? What? Strongest military in the world had no idea that this would happen? I mean, you're not even close to being correct. Remember, I hate ragging on the military. Again, up here, you guys are vets like Neil and others. I think, Jen, you're a vet too. We got a lot of military people in here. This is insane. I mean, but we shouldn't be surprised. The reason why I say that, the Chinese had a spy base off Florida coast called Cuba for like close to a decade, supposedly, flying spy balloons over our entire country. They don't know what it is. They shot objects out of the sky like, I don't have a clue. You guys remember? I'm just throwing stuff that just happened in the last 2 years. I want our military to be like have faith in them, but right now, honest to God, I don't have that much faith. I did when Trump was in office. Let me tell you, I did when Trump was in office. I didn't when Obama was in office. Obama was trying to diminish our military. Remember that? He was actually closing bases down around the United States. So you have this where he left Afghanistan behind to enemy hands, basically. Green card holders were not able to get out. Translators were left to be murdered. American soldiers were blown up at the airport because proper security was not actually guaranteed. And Biden has never paid the political price for it whatsoever. Could you imagine if this was under Trump? We would never hear the end of it. We would still be hearing about it. Somehow, it's just people forgot. Like, they forget that Afghanistan ever even happened. The real story of Biden's presidency is encapsulated in the arrogance, the egotism, and the disgusting selfish involvement of the president of the United States in presiding over the greatest foreign policy disaster of my lifetime, and then just blithely talking it away. Biden is not a good person. He's the kind of person who ignores a 4-year-old grandchild for 4 years. Just recently came out and actually like certified, if that's what you want to call it, that he had a grandchild. He's the kind of person who his entire career has been marked by lying about others. I mean, he lies about his own son's death. I think his son died in Iraq. That just wasn't the case. It's terrible that his son died, but he makes up stories all the time. Some stories are true. A lot of them aren't. He's the kind of person who slandered a man who was involved in a car crash in which his wife and one of his children were killed. He slandered that person as a drunk driver for years. That's the kind of person Joe Biden is. I mean, I know this isn't news to all of you. I know all that. But the American pullout that he did was mind-blowing. And again, nothing's happened to him. Nobody was fired over it. Let that sink in. John Kirby came out and he said, oh, it wasn't chaos in my eyes. It wasn't chaos from my perch. I mean, that messaging was wild. Was wild. I'm trying to get in for you guys to see more of this article, but it's just the sheer, I guess Ben said it right, the sheer ego of this guy, and just like expecting, I guess, nothing to ever happen to him or something. I'm not quite sure. But he says here, it's just disgusting that this person who was perceived as warm, generous, fuzzy, and cuddly, this was what was said about Joe Biden, the guy who nuzzled small children for no reason, was so cold and calculating that he really didn't care what happened to the people who got left behind, including American soldiers. Biden is a person who cares first and foremost about himself. And that is perfectly obvious in the way he treated the Gold Star family members. That was certainly evident with the testimony of a Gold Star family member and wounded soldiers who were at a press conference. American service members were murdered in Kabul, and the treatment of these Gold Star family members was egregious and disgusting at best, by the way. Biden had talked to the wounded vets, and when he did, he spoke about his son Bo's death, who had died of brain cancer. Biden tried to suggest that his son's death which was tragic and terrible, and I emphasize that here, was somehow the equivalent of a person being blown up in combat. And by the way, that could have been like never happened if you would have just followed through with the intelligence that was coming through. For those who have never visited a White House of mourning, the rule is shut up. You visit a house of mourning, you shut up and let them talk because you don't know how that person feels. And even though you've gone through something very similar, you just let them talk. But the media doesn't care about the Biden's actions. They don't care. The Gold Star family members are no consequence to them. No one knows their names. No one gives them coverage. They are not people who you're going to see at basically on the nightly news. You're not going to see them in interviews of these wounded soldiers whatsoever. The whole caring grandpa thing routine, it's just clearly a lie. He's a corrupt politician. He has been for decades, and he's never held an actual real job outside of federal government. Very similar to Bernie Sanders, who I think was like a newspaper boy at the age of 8 or something. And he went around telling people who just lost family members, young people who were blown up, that he knew how they felt because he had a son who died of cancer in circumstances entirely unrelated to the military service. So that's what he goes around. This comes a lot from the video that we showed. Again, I highly recommend you go check it out. It is worth it. It is sad. Just gonna be upfront. It is sad, but it needs to be out there, folks. You need to see the damage that was done and the lies from the Pentagon, the lies from the Department of Defense, lied about it. They said they were never shot at. So what happened was the guy comes up and blows up the place, right? And then after that, the Taliban started shooting at everybody, basically just mowing everybody over with guns. And you had 2 different Marines being shot through the leg and one through, I think, the chest or something. Somebody can correct me in the live chat. I can't remember. They were shot. I mean, not from themselves. They didn't shoot themselves. So when the explosion happened, it basically blew them out of the tower and windows to where they were hanging on, and they got shot, right? Well, the Pentagon or Department of Justice, Department of Defense came out and was like, well, you were concussed, and they were, but we don't believe in basically what took place. Nobody got shot. And nothing happened, really, is basically what they were saying. So completely lying about it. I mean, what a butcher job. What a butcher. You saw this with Benghazi. You saw it with Hillary and Benghazi. Didn't expect to see it happen again. I mean, whatever. Nothing happens. Literally nobody got fired. Similar to what you see all the time. But again, head over to that episode. To end it off here, a little bit of fun with air quotes. Best Buy faces boycott over leadership programs that exclude white employees. When I saw this on the quartering the other day. I don't know how this isn't illegal with what we're about to go through. This is crazy. I can't believe there's not lawsuits. So check this out. If you haven't heard about this, buckle up. Best Buy is facing a boycott over offering, quote, leadership programs that are only available to non-white employees. This was leaked, not by Project Veritas, but O'Keefe Media, which is OMG now, James O'Keefe. Which, by the way, we were shown on Project Veritas. He did highlight our video, like really quickly. It was like 5 seconds, but we were on there, and it was good. He loved us. He loved the Bald Brad Show. We're doing good things here. It was like our 5 seconds of fame. But fame nonetheless. Usually if you're found on Project Veritas, you should be worried because normally it's not a good thing. But for us, we were highlighted in a positive light. A whistleblower shared screenshots of an alleged internal Best Buy company memo regarding, quote, Management Leadership Academy programs. It sounds good. I mean, to be able to work up in a company is a good thing. You see this from In-N-Out. In-N-Out's actually really a good company to be able to climb up in. Not every company's like that. But this is a great thing to allow people that are just kind of your average of the mill employees who've been working for Best Buy longer than a year to apply to this, as long as you're not white, by the way, to climb basically the ladders. I think it was a good intention. What was going on behind the scenes with it, really, really bad. So this comes from O'Keefe Media Group. Their programs are a partnership between Best Buy and global management consultant McKinsey & Company. The programs provided employees with critical skills that will enhance their leadership through a mini MBA-style curriculum. Maybe. Again, on the outset, it sounds really good. But when you zoom in, not so much. The leadership programs allegedly exclude white employees. Again, I don't know how this is not illegal. It has to be, right? It has to be. Is anybody in here a lawyer that can speak on this? Yeah, this is pretty crazy. If you let's just reverse it, okay? You had something and everybody that was basically not white can't apply. I mean, I don't know if that's I'm in the cross between, is it racism or discrimination? I mean, hell, it's definitely discrimination, but is it crossover in the line of racism? I don't know, because I think people conflate the two a lot. There's in my mind, there is a difference, obviously, between the two, hence why there's two words for it. But I think people conflate racism too much with discrimination, because what's happening here is people on the right side of the aisle, like you and I, they're saying this is racism. I think it's more on the lines of discrimination than anything, discrimination based on race. And somebody may say, well, Brad, that's racism. I'm not there. I'm not there yet, but I do think it's discrimination, and I think it's illegal. Check this out. Quote, wait till I read it. We're excited to announce awesome news about the McKinsey Professional Development Programs. As a part of Best Buy's commitment to develop and support our employees, we've partnered with McKinsey & Company to offer the McKinsey Leadership Programs. These professional development programs customize its curriculum and discussions to the unique situations, experiences, and opportunities of diverse professionals. Not very diverse because white people aren't allowed to be involved in it. One of the purported requirements to be considered for leadership programs was the candidates must identify as Black, Latino, Hispanic, Asian, or Pacific Islander. Now, if you can identify as non-binary, trans, the list of a million genders of which you could be, why can't you identify as being Black, Latino, Hispanic, Asian, Pacific Islander, African American? There is an honest to God greater argument to be made that you can switch into being Latino, Hispanic, Asian, Pacific Islander, African American, all those other things, than you could actually switching your gender. There's a way greater case for switching, say, African American, like Elon Musk, for example. Literally from Africa, came here, now American, right? African American. You can look white and present yourself as Hispanic, some or even Mexican. Some Mexicans look white, straight up white. So there's a more argument for that, is what I'm saying. But if you identify as any of those, then you could be it. So I guess theory, if I identified as Black dude, which obviously I'm not, but if I did identify, you can't tell me I'm not. That's what I identify as. That's who I think I am. Then maybe technically I could be in this program. According to the online application for the leadership programs, 2 questions asked if applicants are Black, Latino, Hispanic, Asian, or Pacific Islander to advance. The O'Keefe Media Group shared alleged screenshots of the memo and the application on Twitter with the caption, "A citizen journalist has revealed Best Buy is partnering with McKinsey & Company on a management training program. The program is not open to white applicants. Candidates must meet the racial requirement below." So it's kind of a blurry photo. It looks like somebody kind of took it with their cell phones, but I want to kind of bring it up for you all right here. So it's really hard to see. Even I can't. It's extremely small, but there's key dates on there. Everything's on there that I read to you already. But this is what was presented to James O'Keefe. And you can see up there, it's happening in October. What's your job title? Who is the current leader? What is your job location? What is your current human resources support representative for your business area market? I don't even know how you would know that. Like when I worked at Staples, I didn't know who that was. Which program are you interested in? Leadership Essentials, Management Accelerator. This is for people managers. I don't know what that is. Please select all the following requirements that you meet. Best Buy employees with exempt status. There you go. 1-year tenure. This is the part. Identifies Black, Latino, Hispanic, Asian, or Pacific Islander. Will you have the capacity to commit 3 or more hours per week? Folks, on audio, if you saw this, it's extremely tiny. It's like 5 to 10 point font, somewhere in that range, per week to the Management Leadership Academy programs that interest you for 3 to 4 months. And to which cohort do you identify? Again, they're asking for identification: Black, Hispanic, Latino, Asian, Pacific Islander. So, another corporation going woke, I suppose. The electronics company announced a diversity initiative on the Best Buy corporate website in July 2022. Best Buy said the leadership programs would help establish a more diverse workforce. Again, this is just another push here for diversity of race rather than diversity of thought. I think I don't think your race has anything to do with anything. I could beat it dead in the horse, or beat a dead horse with this. We've talked about it at length here on the Ball Brad Show. We have a lot of new viewers, which is why you see me reiterate or kind of say the same things over and over again. Your race does not matter. Republicans, conservatives don't care about your race. We care about your character. We care about the qualities and are you being a good person? Are you following the law? Are you making your life better for yourself and others? Are you making your community better? Are you there for your neighbor? Are you there for your average American? Like, that's stuff we care about. Your race is not relevant. We don't care. But for some reason we keep being portrayed as people that care about your race. You notice a lot of Republican initiatives don't talk about race for the most part. And if they do, we don't agree with them. Even if a politician that's Republican pushes forward a race thing, I'll come out and say, I don't agree with that. I'm sorry. I don't think it should be predicated on race. I mean, I go by what Martin Luther King said. But for some reason, the Democrat Party that advocated for Martin Luther King doesn't agree with what Martin Luther King, or at least if they do, whatever comes out of their mouth is contradicted by their actions. And then we see it right here, left and right, constantly. You have it right here. Look, as part of Best Buy's commitment to develop and support our employees who identify as Black, Indigenous, or people of color, we've partnered with McKinsey & Company to offer McKinsey Management Accelerated Program. Again, this comes from the Best Buy website itself. So it's not like we're making this up here. It sounds like we would, but we're not. It's coming from their own website. Coming from the horse's mouth. The McKinsey Management Accelerator Program focuses on professional career development by customizing its curriculum and discussions to the unique situations, experiences, and opportunities of BIPOC, which again is Black, Indigenous, or people of a color. So, question is, are you guys gonna shop at Best Buy now? I mean, we're becoming limited. So you're not gonna drink Bud Light, which I didn't begin with, or Anheuser-Busch. What else? You got Target. A lot of us aren't sharp on at Target. Now Best Buy's out of the mix. Best Buy's been going woke, though, for quite some time. This isn't the first time that Best Buy's been kind of doing some funky stuff. If you recall, they actually faced controversy in 2021 when they offered mental health resources and counseling services to employees distressed over the Kyle Rittenhouse whole shabacle. So it's not the first time that something like this happened. Do I think it's good that they're offering mental health services? Of course, but attached to the Kyle Rittenhouse thing, I mean, come on. I think we blow things out of proportion a lot of times. I think people get invested in like silly things. Not that that was silly, but like what's a silly example? Like the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we should offer like mental health services for that. It's like, really? Not that they didn't do that, but I'm sure somebody out there did. You know, well, you need to talk about it. It's like, it's irrelevant. It has nothing to do with you. It's like some other guy's life. Random tangent, but hey, we're used to that here on the Bald Brad Show. But again, are you gonna be shopping at Best Buy? There's a couple of questions here today. Is Joe Biden gonna run in 2024? Let us know in the comment section. I'm asking you guys because it does support the channel bigly. Not only does joining and becoming a member today support the show, it's $4.99, or if you want to be crazy, $9.99. If you want to be like insanely crazy, become a member and then do the I don't even know what it's called. What is that called when people give in the live chat over here? You guys are probably screaming at me right now. What is that called? You give money. I forget. I don't know what it's called. I sound like an old guy. I'm only 34, but you know what I mean? You can do something like a live chat feed. Like it's called something, but you can donate money that way. It all goes back in the show. Right now, what we're doing, we're trying to save up for a new computer because this thing is gonna go out on me soon. If it goes out, then we're gonna be doing like cell phone videos or something like that for YouTube for a while. You can't hear it right now because I have a noise reduction on the mic. The fans are going brrrr. I put a vegetable oil in it. Hey, we're making do though. Vegetable oil works. But anywho, that's what's going on with Best Buy. The other question of the day is, do you think Best Buy is you gonna be shopping there? You think Best Buy is gonna go woke, go broke? I enjoyed Best Buy as a kid, man, but can't support what some companies are doing. So let us know in the comment section. Support the show by going to there. Again, go to baldbrad.com, folks. We got a phenomenal website here. I just want to show it once again. I made it myself. I got to update these. I mean, we're on episode like 255 or something, and this is like episode 151. I might just take that off. But again, if you click on watch now or listen now will take you to the podcast, and we do upload the podcast before the show actually drops. So you get a little bit of a, I guess, a couple hours earlier than everybody else if you want to listen to audio on your way to work or whatever, or watch now. But the big one is the book and the store up here, folks. We got a phenomenal bookstore. We got a phenomenal store itself. Get yourself some merchandise. The links are all in the description below. And with that being said, folks, I love you. Thanks for supporting the Bald Brad Show. You are true American patriots. Don't let other people tell you you are not. You love this country. You are doing well. You are assimilating. You're a good person. Most of you. Some of you are a little bit psychotic. Let me tell you, I read your comments. I love you still. But some of you got to tone it down a little bit every now and then. Always having fun with you. Maybe we should do some live streams every now and then. Think about maybe one live stream a week or something like that where we can get together as a community. I don't know, for like an hour or two. And I'll just surf the web or read your comments or watch something. I don't know. If you just want to hang out, let me know. been on my game plan, my list for a while. I'm ranting and raving. I just love hanging out with you guys. Okay, so if you're still here, hit that like and subscribe button. Leave us a comment down below. Hit that join tab. Become a true American patriot. And folks, I'll see you tomorrow here. I'll Brad you.